"You're just a filthy mechanic," Mr. Kesler sneered, brushing his Rolex under the harsh fluorescent lights. "My engineering graduate son will replace you. You're done here." That was it. The door slammed behind me, and the shop I built from oil-stained dreams went silent. 3 years of loyalty, thrown out like grease on the floor. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I just tightened my grip on the wrench still in my pocket. Then came the call. Unknown number. Thick Italian accent. "We'd like to speak with your chief engineer." "Is this Mara Develin?" "My name is Mara," I said. "If you think you know how this ends, think again. I built engines by feel before I learned to spell torque. I whispered to machines while people laughed at me. Talent doesn't ask permission. Neither does vengeance. The Ferrari squad didn't ask where I went to school. They wanted my designs, my sound, my fire. I sent them my prototype. 2 days later, a jet-black courier car arrived with a contract and a red racing suit stitched with my name in gold. Kesler said I was replaceable. He didn't know I was already building my legacy in silence. I didn't gloat. I let my silence roar. This wasn't just about engines. It was about pride. The next time Kesler saw my name, it would be on something faster than his ego. Kesler's son, Adam, strutted into the shop straight out of college. 0 hands-on hours, but LinkedIn said automotive innovator, so they gave him a bay. He stripped the threads on a $10,000 intake manifold within a week. Word spread. Porsche, Bentley, even the guy with the limited edition Veyron vanished from Kesler's roster. Meanwhile, I worked in an old airplane hangar. No signs, no lobby, just passion and steel. Every engine I touched became a symphony. Customers didn't leave satisfied, they left breathless. Then came the video. A client posted a reel, a Ferrari that had failed at 3 dealerships. She touched it. Engine purred. Smooth, guttural, perfect. Overnight, 6 million views. My coveralls visible just enough.
Hands. Work. Mystery.
The world started asking, "Who is she?" Kesler started sweating. Adam had no answers, no skill, no soul. I became the ghost story whispered in elite garages, the woman who could resurrect dead engines. Revenge doesn't roar at first. It revs in the shadows. And I had built the fastest machine they'd ever seen from scratch. When Kesler finally called, his voice cracked. "Is it you?" I didn't answer. I let the silence throttle him. He tried again, pleading for a way back. I hung up, let that haunt him. Days later, another call. Not Kesler. A producer. "We saw the reel. We want you on a series. Queen of Torque." I said, "Not yet." This wasn't about fame. It was about precision, justice, poetry, and pistons. Instead, I struck silently. Derek Vaughan, tech billionaire, former Kesler client, brought me his Pagani. I sent my guy, Jalen, wearing Kesler Auto's old jacket, like a ghost from the past. The Pagani roared out of the bay faster than ever, with a note on the dash. "She fixed what you never could." 5-star review under Kesler's name. No logo, no proof, just excellence. The waiting list to work with me? 6 months. Even Ferrari had to wait. The legend was growing, but I wasn't done yet. My dignity was already restored. Now it was time to take his crown. The invitation arrived in a sleek black envelope. Gold lettering. Embossed seal. Redline International Invitational Engineering Duel. $250,000 prize. Winner earned contracts with 5 elite brands. Loser? Public humiliation. Kesler entered Adam. Of course he did. He still believed bloodlines could beat brilliance. Degrees could outdo grit. When the second name was announced, the crowd shifted. Phones came out. Mara Develin. I walked onto the stage in the same boots I wore when he fired me. Oil stains still kissed the soles. Adam's face drained. Kesler's jaw clenched so hard I could hear it across the room. They didn't know I was coming. Ferrari did. Quietly, proudly, sponsoring me. The rules were simple. Design, build, and optimize a supercar engine in 36 hours.
Live. On site.
No teams, no help. Just bare hands, raw parts, and engineering under fire. Adam wore gloves. I didn't. He Googled torque specs. I felt them. He panicked over misaligned cylinders. I carved airflow like a sculptor. My machine didn't just purr, it sang. By hour 35, Adam was crying behind a privacy screen. A piston had shattered. Wrong measurements. My engine hummed flawless, furious, alive. Kesler paced the sidelines like a banker watching Wall Street burn. When the clock hit 0, the judges fired both engines. Adam sputtered, coughing.
Dead.
Mine? RPM redlined. Perfect cadence. 0 vibration. The judges didn't even speak. They handed me the trophy and 5 handshakes. Flashbulbs exploded. Reporters swarmed.
Who is she?
What's your story? I turned to Kesler, lifted the trophy, and said calmly, I'm just a mechanic. Remember? The crowd roared. I didn't smile for them. I smiled because the blueprint for my revenge had come full circle. The man who called me filthy now stood in the shadow of a queen forged from steel. Kesler didn't show at the press conference.
Adam did.
Red-eyed, trembling, suit wrinkled like a kid sent to the principal's office. What was it like competing with Mara Develin, they asked. He muttered something about pressure. Then, she probably had help. I almost said, almost, but lies were their family legacy, and I'm done forgiving dynasties built on delusion. By nightfall, headlines exploded, from mechanic to mastermind. Mara Develin, queen of torque, leaves Ivy League engineers in dust. Kesler Auto's Yelp ratings plummeted. Clients canceled. Luxury sponsors pulled out. Then came the email. Subject: I owe you an apology. From Kesler himself. A paragraph of awkward flattery coughed through pride. At the end, would you consider coming back as our lead consultant? I replied in one sentence. I don't consult for liars. Hit delete. But legacy isn't made on racetracks alone. It's built where you rise from. I opened my own shop. Develin Dynamics. Half the crew former dropouts. Overlooked kids who reminded me of myself. The other half, women engineers tired of being interrupted mid-sentence. We didn't just fix cars. We built art, trained minds, rewrote rules. Under one banner. Earn it or burn out trying. Kesler Auto filed for bankruptcy. Their flagship store sold. Adam moved to Nevada, teaching auto theory online. Kesler? Rumor has it, he drives by my shop sometimes. Windows up, head low. Let him hear the engines purring. Let him remember what he lost. Not just staff, but soul. Real power isn't inherited. It's forged, one spark at a time. One afternoon, a silver McLaren slid into my lot. Not flashy, purposeful. Out stepped a man in loafers worth more than my first car. I'm with Apex Motorsports, he said. We're building something revolutionary. We want you. I listened to the engine, nodded once, shook his hand. And just like that, I stepped into a war the public would never see. Formula circuits, prototype labs, secret wind tunnels carved into desert rock. I was the only woman in every room again. But this time, they didn't call me girl. They called me chief. While Kesler quietly sold his third boat, I blueprinting electric hyperdrive systems for a concept car named Phantom. Goal: 0 to 60 in under 1.7 seconds.
Silent. Deadly.
Power without growl or echo. When it launched, Top Gear called it a ghost on wheels. Wired called me Detroit's Da Vinci. But the best headline? Former mechanic builds the future of speed. I framed that one. And just when I thought the story had settled, Kesler's legal team sent a letter. You are formally invited to mediation regarding potential brand confusion between Kesler Engineering and Develin Dynamics. Brand confusion. He thought I was stealing his spotlight. I accepted. Not to mediate, but to end it face to face. I wore the same jacket I had on when I first tuned AV8. Same patches, same oil stains. Kesler didn't blink when I walked in. I leaned across the table and said quietly, You can keep your brand. I already have your legacy. Then I slid a photo across the table. His original shop, now mine. Develin Dynamics, downtown division.
Cash.
Old shop still smelled like burnt rubber and cheap ego, but it was mine. Every corner I'd been mocked in. Every tool I was told not to touch. Now bore my name etched into chrome and steel. I didn't renovate. I preserved it, an artifact of arrogance turned triumph. I held a reopening. Didn't send invites.
Didn't need to.
People came, former clients, street racers, engineers, even that YouTube mechanic who once dismissed me as just another pretty face in coveralls. They all showed up. They all saw the plaque bolted to the entry wall. To every girl told she wasn't strong enough to hold a wrench. You were built for this. Reporters snapped photos. The city ran a feature. Comments flooded in. That's the same place that fired her, right? Poetic justice on wheels. I didn't burn it down. I bought it. Kesler didn't come, but I knew he saw it. He couldn't look away. 2 days later, a delivery van rolled up to Develin Dynamics. Inside a large wooden crate, no note, no name. We pried it open. A trophy. The one I won at Redline International. The one that vanished after award night. At the bottom, a folded receipt from a pawn shop in Nevada. I laughed. Adam had sold it. Probably for rent money. I mounted it on the wall in the front office. Underneath, a new plaque. Legacy isn't inherited. It's earned. That night, I closed the shop myself. No assistants, no cameras, just me. For the first time in years, I walked the floor in silence. No one yelling, no tools snatched from my hands, just the low hum of machines breathing like sleeping giants. I stood there, hands in pockets, staring at what I built. Not for revenge, not anymore, but for every future Mara who just needed a chance. Months later, I stood backstage at the Detroit Automotive Summit. Theme: Future Titans of Engineering. Somehow, I was the keynote speaker. Funny. Once, they wouldn't let me park in their lot. Now I was on their stage. I stepped up to the podium. Lights hit. The room hushed. I didn't speak about revenge. I spoke about resurrection. About how some engines stall, but if you understand the system deep enough, you can bring anything back. Even yourself. When I finished, they stood. Applause roared. But my eyes found one seat. Row 3, aisle, empty.
Reserved. Kesler.
He never showed. Later, in the parking lot, I saw the car, a dusty 2007 Aston Martin, the one he used to brag about. Inside, a folded envelope. 3 words in shaky pen. You won. K. I didn't cry. Didn't smile. I tucked it into my glove box next to my first spark plug and drove home. Not fast, but steady. I wasn't running anymore.
Not proving anything.
I had built something no one could take. A future paved in steel and second chances. Every turn of the wrench, every dropped bolt, every insult carved into my back, it all led here. So when they ask what happened to the filthy mechanic Kesler threw out, tell them this. She tuned her pain into performance. And every man who doubted her now drives something she built.